Thank you so much for coming out for Justice for Isaac. We thank you for your prayers, your support, your love. And as a family and every one of us, we say thank you today. I'm going to open up with a prayer. Almighty God, we come before you with heart broken by the senseless pain and loss caused by the gun violence. We mourn for those lives that were taken. We lift up the wounded, their families, and all who carry the burden of grief and fear. Grant us your comforting embrace and let your healing flow to all impacted by these tragedies. Strengthen those who serve, rescue workers, medical professionals, caregivers, and guide the leaders in our community and nation as they seek solution and root injustice of compassionate. When do we want it? Now. We want justice. We want justice.
We are here because we do want justice, not for our family, but for every family, but for every child, every young adult that is lost due to gun violence. We want justice, and we want the gun violence to stop. So what I'm going to do, I am going to open up with what is somewhat of a poem. It's actually from a mother who posted this yesterday on Facebook, and I saw it and it was so touching because I believe she spoke for so many mothers who are grieving, who have lost their daughter or their son to gun violence. And her son is actually being buried today. He was killed in Moncks Corner due to gun violence last week, and he's being buried today. And these are her words from yesterday. Today I have to see my son, and I am not ready for this pain. Today is the viewing of my baby, a moment I have been dreading, a moment I have begged God to wake me up from. I have never attended a viewing in my entire life, not once, because even the thought of seeing someone I love laying there felt like pain I was not built for. And today, it's my own child. There is no strength for this, no preparation, nowhere to breathe through this pain. This pain is violent. My chest feels like it's collapsing. It feels like pneumonia, grief, and heartbreak, all sitting on me at the same time. I can barely breathe. I can barely move. I've been locked in my room, crying until my body shakes, begging for one more minute with my son, begging this is not real, begging for a different ending. People keep telling me, stay strong. But how can you stay strong when your heart is literally splitting in half? How can you walk in a room and look at your child, knowing you will never hear their voice again, never feel their warmth, never watch them grow? I am trying. God knows I'm trying. But today, I feel like I am dying from the inside out. I don't want to see my baby like this. No mother should ever have to. But I'm going because this is the last moment I will ever get to stand beside him in the physical world. The last moment I will get to touch him. The last moment I will get to whisper in his ear how much I love him. This is torture. This is heartbreak in its purest form. This is every mother's worst nightmare, and I am living it with my eyes wide open. And she goes on to say, please keep our family lifted and whisper a prayer. My son did not deserve this. He deserved a future. We are facing the unthinkable. And those words, I'm sure, resonate with every family member, especially every mother, every father who is here today. No parent should have to say those words. They should not have to post those words. But it's unfortunate that we are here today because of the gun violence, and it has to stop. So right now, we're going to pass it over to our mayor. Please give it up for Mayor Frank McClary.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I just want to give honor to God and thank Him for this day and for this opportunity for us to come together. We know it's not one that we look forward to in these kind of circumstances, but it gives us an opportunity now to talk about what's going on in our town, what's going on in our county, and what's going on in this country. This is not an isolated incident, as we all know. And so we're going to have to put things into perspective. We're going to have to be real with what's going on. We're going to have to get down into these numbers, and so we all can understand, because when we leave here today, we need to leave here with a plan to stop the gun violence, stop hurting each other. Because when I go through these numbers, I think something's going to become very obvious to us. We've had seven homicides in the town of Andrews, or just on the outside of Andrews, as far as Safe Rack, in the last 3 years. 7. 2 of them, or 1 of them, is 2 females, 2 young ladies. The other was male. Not just males, black males, black young men. An average age of about 24 years old. Range from 17 to 30. And in all of the incidents, it's a black man that's pulling the trigger. Let that sink in here for a second, because we cannot. We got to hold each other responsible. Not just responsible, we got to take care of each other. We have to be able to see what's about to happen before it takes place. We cannot sit on the sidelines, ladies and gentlemen, and allow these kind of things to happen, and then it brings us back to this location or something similar in a grievance kind of setting. When we see a friend, because I'll tell you this too, another statistics that come out of this, everybody in these 7 incidents know each other, have hung out, been in the same settings. So what is that telling us? We're going to have to police ourselves up in here and take care of each other. We're going to have to love each other. We got to figure out how to resolve conflict without using a gun. Because we don't get a second opportunity once that trigger is pulled. You don't get a second opportunity to do this again. And all of these men and women that are no longer here with us have bright futures. All of them. So listen at these. So Friday, September 30th, 2022, it's Natasha Middleton, 44 years old, a daughter, a mother, and a grandmother, and a niece and cousins to all. Her daughter, Gucci, 33 years old, United States Army soldier, a mother, a daughter, and a granddaughter. This senseless attack on their life happened inside of their home. And again, that's another norm. It's not happening abroad. It's happening right here in our own hometown. 9 p.m., September 26, 2023. Main Street and Beach Avenue. Young man, Sean Holmes, 17 years old. In fact, he just turned 17 3 days prior to his life being taken. Mr. Damon Brockington, 28 years old at the time. Life taken. The subject has still not been identified at this time. And we'll talk about the difference in what has happened in the past until we get to what has brought us to this point. August 5th, 2024, in the workplace at Safe Rack. I think it's Keekwan Collins, 25-year-old black male, shot multiple times while on the phone with his father, explaining to him what's taking place. And again, by someone he knew. 1 a.m., October 27, 2024, just a little over 2 months after this. It's Davon Seward, 30 years old, black male. At a place on Jones Avenue, or the corner of Jones and MLK. Again, gunned down by someone he knew, he hung out with. What brought us here today for this gathering, somewhere approximately 1:30, between 1:30 and 2:30 a.m. in the morning, after homecoming. Great weekend set. A young man who life was before him. A young man that I just hired less than 2 weeks prior to this. A couple of days before, he would have gotten his first check. A young man that obviously everybody loved, that he got along with everybody, was gunned down just where we started. I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I served almost 30 years in the United States Army. I've devoted 2 combat tours. That's where the fighting's supposed to happen. Not in our front yard, not in our backyard, not when you want to come out to have a good time to socialize with one another. Now, who knows? Could these things have been prevented? Did somebody know that these things were about to happen? And I would say, I believe so. Somebody knew. And so what we have to walk with, at least today, walk away from here with, is what are we going to do about it? How do we prevent this? And again, a young man, 21 years old. I remember that week, Wednesday, I believe it was, he came into town hall, and I spoke to him, he spoke, and again, very, very manable young man. And I looked down, I think he had Crocs on. I couldn't understand, you're working in public works, why would you have Crocs on? He said, sir, and he said, I didn't want to bring mud into the building, so I left my boots on the outside. I've heard you talk about him. There's no reason. Nothing. No reason why him or the others we've talked about, life should have ended as soon as it did. Now, we don't know what God's plan is for all of us, but we do have a duty down here. We do have a responsibility to each other to love one another, to take care of one another. And we got to understand that these things called guns. I know here in South Carolina, I'll share some numbers with you. Because again, this is all about us waking up. Us waking up. So we all know that in South Carolina, you don't have to have any permit, no training, no permission, none of that to carry a gun. So we all can just carry this thing around out in the open. I don't know where that makes sense. I don't know the lawmakers that voted on this, I think in 2020, I'll have to go back, but it wasn't that long ago. What sense does that make? So again, as we think about these things we're talking about right now, who's killing who with guns? You don't have to answer, but you think about it, who's killing who with guns? Yeah. It's in our community. The majority of it's in our community. I mean, think about it. We cannot beat around the bush. What this thing says to me is that young black males, 15 to 34 years old, make up 3.6% of the state's population, but account for 46%. I say we make up 3.6% of the population here in South Carolina, but account for 46% of the gun homicides and death. Black females are 4 times more likely to die from gun homicide than white females. Males are 6 times more likely to die from gun homicide than whites. This should not be a black-white thing, but the numbers does not lie. So the question, what are we going to do? I see all these beautiful young faces out here. I'm an old man. I've seen a lot. I was blessed to travel around the world, seeing other young folks. We need you. We need you. We're getting old. We got to move on. We need every one of you. It breaks my heart for someone to say on Facebook that Jones Avenue is not a safe place to come run. I know that's not the truth. But that's the narrative. There's things happening all over the place, but we got to understand and start here at home. We have to protect each other and protect this town if we're going to change things. That's just it. I think we beat around the bush long enough, but we have to be real about what's happening. It says firearms are the second leading cause of death among young people 1 year old to 17 years old. When you look at the race category, it says black people are 9 times more likely to die by gun homicide than white. White males over 34 years old account for 54% of the gun homicide. But again, I'm saying this because I want you to be sensitized to what's happening. Now I'll say, I'm a Facebook kind of guy. I go around now, just as much as the officers were investigating this thing, I was doing my own silently. There's a lot going on Facebook. There's a lot of things said right now that will keep these types of things going. We have to stop. We have to stop it. That's not the way. What we need to be doing is coming together. How do we honor the life and legacy of JC? You all know him better than I do. You know what he loves. So who's going to take a step forward to establish some kind of a foundation, something that brings kids in and say, this young man would have done, this is what he represented. Whatever that is that you come up with. And I'm relying on you young folks. I'm relying on you. We're here to help you with that effort. We're relying on you all. You have to be the leaders now. Me and Pastor Joe, we're old. We have some good ideas, but we don't know it all. You all know how to communicate with each other. So we need you on the forefront.
Right.
If we're not in the church, let's go. Let's get in the church. That's what we didn't have a choice when I was coming up. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's get God back into everything we do. He's got to be out front. I'm not a preacher, but I'm telling you, I know what Diane McCleary taught me many years ago. Now, I didn't walk a straight and narrow line, but it was enough to get me back online. And none of us are perfect. But we know there's so much wisdom and knowledge in here with listen to the parents. Come on now. Spend more time with your kids. Spend more time with your mom and dad. Whomever it is that's significant in your life. We got to find the positive now to put our energy into. Trail rides and all these other big events, that's all nice. But what's important, what's going to take us to the next level, is us being in church, for the kids that are still in school, doing the best that you can do. So then you can come out here and take some of these positions that we all have, or those jobs, and keep carrying on the legacy of your family in this town. That's what we have to do. We have to have leaders among our young folks. I just learned what crash out in 6-7 and all that is just now. I don't know what that is. I can't communicate with it. But you can. We should not be here today. None of those incidents I talked about should have had families gathering around and crying and mourning and bereaving. It's enough when we naturally leave this earth. Next year will be 30 years my mother passed. She was 49 years old. And it pains me today. But that's natural. Imagine what this young lady is going through because her son's life was Lynette's daughter and granddaughter life taken. It's a different kind of pain. So I ask you, I'm begging you. Talked this morning with a small group of leaders about how do we now get into the school. So we're going to reach out to Dr. Giles and figure out how do we get some of this mentoring and education and things that are focused on the problem. You can be the smartest person in the world, but I tell you what, if you understand how to resolve conflict, if you don't understand how to resolve conflict, and valedictorian stuff, it won't matter.
Won't matter. Right.
It just wasn't, it won't take you to the next level. So we got to figure out how to resolve our issues. I'm tired of seeing young people, and again, majority I'm seeing is young black folks fighting, young ladies fighting in the street. And it, you know, I guess, I don't know if it's World Star or whatever that stuff is now. That's not cute. It's not okay. It's your sister. It's your brother. And again, this is not a black thing, but I'm addressing where I see the numbers leading me. We got to change. So I'm not here to chastise. I'm just here to make you understand, to help you understand, if you haven't had an opportunity to look into the numbers. And again, to understand that this is happening frequently. Andrews is 2.2 square miles, and for us to have 7 murders, that's a lot. That's too much. One is too much. So we have opportunity, starting right now. We're going to be reaching out to you. I know most of you, and we're going to be asking you to come forward and help us. Let us help you bring young folks together. I don't care what we do around here. That's a nice little pizza place, but guess what? It's nothing if we don't have people. It means absolutely nothing. We don't get any glory out of that. It's watching you all grow and become the best that you can be. That's why I'm here, really. I'm telling you. That is the most fulfilling thing to see is these young football players, all these other sports, and I should say academic athletes or student athletes, just rise up and continue to go. So that's why we're here. Okay? So, you know, let's continue to pray for each other. And if we haven't, let's start. Because that is the beginning and the end. We don't have God in front of all things we do, then we're probably not going to do too well. Okay? And we don't want to I don't want to do this anymore. When we leave, let God call us home. Because I cannot, you cannot, none of us can give each other life. I can't put you in heaven, and I can't send you to heaven. We don't have that power. That's not our role. Our role is to take care of each other while we're here, upright and capable. So I'm gonna get off because it's really fast. This JC's death is taking me to a different kind of level. I got to be honest with you. And so, if you need me, you call me. You know where I am. I'll be there. I think that goes for any of these adults out here. Don't wait. So please, bring what's happening on Facebook down to 0. And I want to thank the sheriff department for the work they did putting in, because again, in conjunction with what you all, everybody stepping up, you have to. Those guys came out, they were on duty, and they came out and processed that crime scene. But more importantly, somebody said something. Somebody said something. And you should feel proud about that. There is no such thing as a snitch. If you're not in here doing something bad together, you turn me on, that's probably snitching. But it's okay too. But when we see someone gunned down or any kind of crime going on, it is our duty, our responsibility to make a call while it's in progress. So I thank you all, and that's what. And the last point, especially for you young folks, man, I'm really happy and proud about you all because you did step forward. We had a bunch of grown folks up here when these two young men got shot down in the street. And not one, I know this because I drove through 5 minutes before. Both sides of the streets were full. Somebody saw what happened. But you already leading because you did something about it. So let's give our young folks a hand. That's what it's all about. That's what changes things. Y'all did something about it. And again, I'm going to thank the Sheriff's Department. I don't think it's over yet. An investigation obviously is still going. There's been arrests of 4 black men. And I don't think it's over yet. So if there's more to tell, call the Sheriff's Department. Talk to Chief Cochran. We got to get the information to those who are doing the investigation. Okay, that's our duty. Because if we don't, and these folks that are no longer with us, they're dying in vain. That's just as simple as that. We are letting them go without holding people accountable for it. And the thing is, they're still among us somewhere. Who's safe? Who feels safe? I don't. So let's do what we're supposed to do. And may God bless each and every one of you. It's the Cooper family, the Myers family, all of you all. You guys know I'm here. Mom, hang in there. It's the road is not going to get any easier. It's only baby. We all loved him. You know, he was inboxing me to get a job. I'm like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? You know, I actually slowed his hiring up because I sent in the wrong, pre-screening stuff, so it took a little bit longer. But he didn't give up. Hi, Mr. Franklin, I'm still here. You know, and we saw so much in him in such a short time. All right? So let's make sure that JC's legacy and all the others continue to be in the forefront. It's probably some that don't want their names to be mentioned anymore, but it's our duty to keep it up front. So whoever got the great idea of what we're going to do, again, to make sure that these young men and women are remembered, I'm here with you. So may God bless each and every one of you.